G'day everybody, it's Dave from Dai Wei Kwun. I haven't posted for ages and I'm truly sorry about that. I've just been involved in all sorts of other things and been rethinking a bit what I'm doing, and I've got a heck of a lot of content that I'm going to produce. I'm going to delve right down into Wing Chun, go through the forms for you, tell you all sorts of tricks of the trade of each form: Chum Q, Bill G, the dummy, the knives, the pole, Chi Sao, which is not technically a form, but single and double Ti Chow, Chi Sao are really important. Those who follow me regularly will notice I'm a little furrier than last time. I just got the urge, and you can see how ancient and venerable and wise I actually am. All that white. I've been having a great time in my Wing Chun, been learning some really cool things. But first I wanted to say I'm changing the name of my channel to Wing Chun Mind Force. Now, Dai Wei Kwun, I like it. It's a name I've used for my own little private school for over 20 years. But it is a bit of a difficult one to remember. For English speakers, particularly, Dai Wei Kwun could mean anything. So I've been running a Facebook page for a number of years called Wing Chun Mind Force, and I've got heaps of people follow me on there who really enjoy what I post. And essentially everything I post on Dai Wei Kwun is about Wing Chun Mind Force, the pursuit of this fascinating subject. So that's what I'm going to do from now on, is just call it Wing Chun Mind Force. So without further ado, I'd just like to tell you a couple of things that I'm super excited about at the moment. A marvellous practitioner called Mark Ho from Sheffield in England, who trained under Sigung Chu Shong Tin for many years, and is Chinese but brought up in England, speaks excellent English. He's a native, but he also speaks excellent Chinese. So I've been asking him a few things that have puzzled me for ages, and I sort of found him through his videos, which are excellent, and I'm going to post below some links to a couple of videos of his that are really great. But I'm a firm believer in going back to the Chinese source. When things are puzzling, don't just make them up and think, oh, Wing Chun lacks this, Wing Chun lacks that. It doesn't. You've just got to go to the source, talk to the Chinese seniors, find out what Chu Shong Tin said, find out what these senior practitioners who've been, in some cases, practicing since the 50s say, find out what Master Yip Man said. That's how you find out the truth of an old art like this. So in Mark's first video I watched, which was about Nim Tao, that part of the mind that is the now present heart mind, in Siu Nim Tao it's usually translated as idea, which doesn't really tell you much in English. But the Nim Tao is essentially the unconscious mind, or the subconscious. These subconscious and unconscious are a bit sort of the same thing in English. Psychologically, it doesn't really matter. It just means not the ordinary mind that thinks logically, that you use when you're doing maths or thinking about sort of modern cultural things. The first thing he said that blew me out, and he said a lot of things that blew me out, but there's this term Yi that I'd heard a lot at different times and never really could get to the bottom of what it meant. But Yi means intent, and Mark said in his video that Sigung apparently had been thinking early on of calling Siu Nim Tao, changing it to Yi Sik. And Yi Sik literally means, this is one of the literal meanings, the process of using the intent. So Yi is intent, and Sik, I guess, means the process of using. So that's the start of it. Yi, what is this Yi? The next thing that blew me out is that Mark said that Sigung said that Yi Sik, the process of using the intent or the Yi, is the interplay of conscious and subconscious mind to produce Sung. So Sung is the state where our bodies are just really relaxed and we access the internal power. We access what I call the monkey power, the animal power. We access muscles and sinews and structures that are deep within us that we can't normally consciously access. And there's a lot to talk about here, a lot to unpack, as people say. But basically, Mark says that Yi sits between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. So when you think you want to do something, the first thing you do is Feng Sung, which is, enter the Sung state, or, connect with the Sung state, the soft, effortless, not trying state. And then your intent goes, I'm going to do that. And the unconscious mind or the subconscious mind finds the way. So, as I said, there's a lot to talk about. I'm not going to talk about it all right now. I'll make more videos about this. I'm going to sort of just end off on a quote. Sorry, I can't pause on this phone because I can't really edit in camera for some reason. I used to be able to. Where is it? Here it is. This is something I really love. Mark said that Sigung only mentioned this twice to him. He said that the Nim Tao is a mind map. It creates a mind map of the whole body. And he said the Yi is like a virtual finger, whereas when you're in the Nim Tao, which the sort of central processing seems to be in the back of the head, in that area of the brain, which actually looks after all the autonomic system, all the stuff that we don't normally have access to consciously. He said that has like a virtual finger that goes to parts of the body and brings the force there. And anybody who's experienced that knows it's really true, that you can put your mind into parts of your body, and you can also put it into the dummy. You can put it into the swords, butterfly knives, or you can put it into a pole. So once again, that's another interesting subject, but this idea of a mind map thrills me because for years I've been working on the concept of being virtual and having a mind map of the whole body. And when I do the Yi Nim Tao form, a lot of it for me is just feeling this sort of 3D picture I've got in my mind of my whole body, the soles of my feet, top of my head, my spine, the front of my body, all the joints. Just holding that in there and not really thinking about it, just more visualizing it and feeling that visualization. So the idea of a mind map is brilliant. And I see it as exactly the same as virtualizing the world. Like, you virtualize yourself, you virtualize your opponent, you virtualize the world. And anybody who's experienced this mind force of Wing Chun knows that it feels so effortless, it seems crazy, but you can see the big effect on somebody else or something else, and it seems like you're in a game, like a virtual game. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. Just a reminder again, my channel's called Wing Chun Mind Force from now on, so if you know anybody who watches me, tell them. I think you should still be able to find me using Dai Wei Kwun, but I just think Wing Chun Mind Force is much easier to remember, much easier to say to your friends, oh, there's this interesting guy, Dave, from Australia, a Chu Shong Tin lineage guy, and his thing's called Wing Chun Mind Force. If you say Dai Wei Kwun, they go, oh, That's how I think anyway. All right. Well, God bless you and keep you. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.